Then I will go for refraction. First be clear with the reflection topic. That time we will take bio topic, which is easy, okay, which you can understand easily. Hmm? Hmm. That is what. Because which is important topic. Light is an important topic. You should have confidence in that solving the problems. Huh? So today our topic is control and coordination. Briefly, I will just go through the paragraphs which they have given. You will understand that. Just textbook reading is very important. Line wise you should read it. If you don't understand anywhere, just raise your hand. Okay? In the previous chapter, we looked at the life processes. We completed life processes chapter. Right? Life processes, I already completed that one. I will do again for SSC. I will complete that chapter. We looked at the life processes involved in the maintenance functions in living organisms. There we had started with a notion we all have that if we see something moving, it is alive. Some of these movements are in fact of result of growth as in plants. A seed germinates and grows, and we can see that the seeding moves over the course of few days. It pushes soil aside and comes out. But if its growth were to be stopped, these movements would not happen. Some movements, as in many animals and some plants, are not connected with growth. A cat running, children playing on streets, buffaloes chewing cud. These are not movements caused by growth. See, how can you say that one thing is alive? One person is alive. How can you say? If there is any movement, then we say that human beings or animals. For plant, if there is any growth, greenish color if it is there, then we say that it is alive. If there is any growth in the plants, we say that if a seed germinates, it is alive. Suppose when cat is running, buffalo is chewing cud. These are not some movements caused by the growth. Okay. So these means whatever this life processes we have studied in the last chapter. What are life processes? Respiration, photosynthesis, or we have studied now. Okay. Those comes under in the animals and the plants when they are alive. When they are alive. Okay. So why do we associate such visible movements with life? A possible answer is that we think of movement as a response to the change in the environment of the organism. The cat may be running because it has seen a mouse. Cat is running, there is no They are not standing. They are like this. That is why they get food from ground only. That is why that mouth is down. But as we are human beings, we have the hands. But animals, they are not having hands. They cannot put that food into mouth with hands. That is why that animals, organisms are designed like that. As we are human beings, we have the hands to keep the food into our mouth. That is why our mouth is in this way straight. Are you getting my point? According to the environment, changes happen in the organisms. That is what they are saying. The cat may be running because it has seen a mouse. Not only that, we also think movement as in attempt advantages. Plants grow out into the sunshine. Children try to get the pleasure and fun out of swinging. Buffaloes chew cud to help break up the tough food so as to be able to digest it better. When bright light, the one which when they take inside that grass, first it will not chew all they store inside. After that, when they are free, that cud will be that whatever that mixed with mucus will be there, saliva. Again, that will be taken into the mouth. Then they chew the grass which is taken inside. First, just like that only it will take. It will store. When they are free, again that will be taken into the mouth, then they chew. Have you ever observed like that, buffaloes? Cut means the thing which is undigested thing, again it will take into the mouth and will be chewed. Okay, that one. Okay. When bright light is focused on our eyes, or when we touch a hot object, we detect a change in the response to it in order to protect ourselves. When we touch any hot objects, will anyone say that it is hot? We remove that hand? No, immediately we are doing that activity, that removing the hand. If any torch is light is bright, so bright, our eyes will close automatically. Okay. So all these things, whatever are there, we detect the change and the response to it with the movement in order to protect ourselves. If you keep like that, only our hand will burn. Just to protect ourselves. If you just focus bright light like that, only your eyes will damage. That is why to protect ourselves, we are just blinking our eyes. So if we think a bit more about this, it becomes apparent that all this movement in response to the environment is carefully controlled. Okay, it is controlled. It is under the control by our nervous system. Everything is. If you are getting toilet, if there is no toilet room, you will stop that. Okay, if there are very small children means they go like that. But when they are becoming big, be controlled. It is under the control. Everything is under nervous control. Okay, so each kind of change in the environment evokes an appropriate movement in response. When we want to talk about our friends in classroom, we whisper rather than shouting loudly. Clearly, the movement to be made depends on the event that is triggering it. Therefore, such controlled movements must be connected to the recognition of the various events in the environment, followed by only the correct movement is in response. In other words, living organisms must use systems to providing the control and coordination. Suppose when we are in the classroom, we will not shout, only teacher shouts. Students listen. also whisper there also. That anyone is not saying, but according to the environment, our behavior changing. Our behavior is changing. It is under the control. It has to go with some control and coordination. Okay. So our body responds according to the environment. According to the, when I am in the classroom, my voice is very loud. Okay. When I am in my house, do I speak like this only loudly? No. Means according that, I am not saying that this is my house, you should speak slow. I am not saying that when you are in the classroom, you speak loudly. No, I am not saying. But according to situation, according to the environment, I am changing. This is, it is under my control and coordination. Living organisms must use systems. Okay, providing control and coordination in keeping with the general principles of body organization in multicellular organisms. Specialized tissues are used to provide this control and coordination. Are we multicellular organisms or unicellular organisms? Yes, we are multicellular organisms. Amoeba, paramecium, all those are unicellular organisms. That means which have the one single cell. Multi means more than one. More than one. Okay. So, in order to use the control and coordination, we require the multi-cells. Okay. So, that is what they are saying. Specialized tissues are used. Specialized tissues are used to provide this control and coordination. Specialized tissues. So, how this in the animals nervous system is there? Let's do that. Nervous system. In the animals, how the nervous system, I will end up with this topic. Okay, it is for 10 minutes topic. Okay, and which is very important. Okay, if they want to ask any diagram here, they will ask nerve. Okay, cell, which is very important. So, in animals, such control and coordination are provided by nervous. How this is controllable in animals? Nervous. And muscular tissues also. Nervous, and muscular tissue. Muscular tissue. Okay. In the animals, this control and coordination controlled by the nervous and muscular tissue. Okay, remember this point, which we have studied in already in 9th class. Touching a hot object is an urgent and a dangerous situation for us. We need to detect it and respond to it. How do we detect that we are touching a hot object? All information from our environment is detected by specialized tips of some nerve cells. These receptors are usually located in our sense organs such as inner ear, nose, okay, tongue, and so on. Okay, so gustatory receptors will detect taste, while olfactory receptors will detect smell. Okay, here we are saying the nerve cells. Tips of the nerve cells are specialized to detect the environment. If there is any hot environment is there, if there is any dangerous environment is there, nerve tips will detect that. If there is any bitter in taste, our tongue will detect. If you keep any bitter thing in the ear, will it detect? No. Okay. If there is any sweeter thing, if you keep in your mouth, it will detect that it is empty, sweet taste. If identify the smell, taste, dangerous situations. Okay, in our hand, when we touch the hard object, it will say that remove that. Okay, that means if tips of the nervous cells will be present at the end. Okay, so this information acquired at the end of the dendritic tip of the nervous cell sets off a chemical reactions that creates an electric impulse. This impulse travels from the dendrite to the cell body and then along the axon to its end. At the end of the axon, the electrical impulse sets off the release of the some chemicals. These chemicals are cross the gap or synapses and start the similar electrical impulse in the dendrite of the next neuron. This is a general scheme of how nervous impulses travel in the body. A similar synapse finally allows the delivery of the such impulses from nerves to the other cells, such as muscle cells or gland. So once I will just draw the nerve diagram, okay, then you will understand what I am conveying. Okay. Once whenever you draw any cell, just you keep one dotted circle first. Then you will get some idea how to draw this. See, it will not go any shape out. If you draw one first dotted circle, then it will not shape out. This is the end. There will be, what is this? Myelin sheath. Okay, myelin sheath. This is axon. This is axon. Okay, these are the dendrites. Nucleus. These are dendrites. This is cell body. This is axon. This is myelin sheath. This is nerve ending. Listen carefully. You can draw this pencil like this. Okay. Yes. Listen carefully. How this one cell to another cell to our body, how these are informing this information. This is hot. This is bitter. This is bad odor. This is sweet. How these nerve cells are informing to our brain. That I am going to discuss. Okay. This information dendrites will receive. Information will be received first. Dendritic tip. Dendritic tips. Okay. This here will have one electric impulse. Okay. Electric impulse. This impulse will travel from dendrite to the cell body. This is the cell body. Na? First, this tips will take that impulse. Okay. This tips will receive electric impulse. What it will receive? Electric impulse. This impulse will travel to the cell body first. From here to it will travel to the cell body. Okay, are you clear with the first point? What will happen first? At the end of the dendritic tip of this nerve cell, that creates an electric impulse. It will create first an electric impulse. This impulse will travel from the dendrite to the cell body and then along the axon to its end. After receiving that impulse, it will travel to the axon and will send to the nerve end. First, it will create one electric impulse where at the end of the dendritic tip. Okay. That impulse will travel to the cell body. This will move to axon and we have moved to the nerve end. What it is moving? Electric impulse. Okay. So this impulse will travel from dendrite to the cell body and then along the axon to its end. At the end of the axon, the electric impulse sets off the release of some chemicals. So this impulse, whatever it is there, it sets off and releases some chemicals. Where it will release? At the end of the axon. Here. Here it will release some chemicals. Here first is the dendritic tip. Okay. Will have electric impulse. This impulse will move to the cell body. Again it will move to the axon and here that impulse will release some chemicals. Okay, clear? Are you clear? Yes. These chemicals cross the gap or synapse and start stimulating the electric impulse in a dendritic of the next neuron. Again, whatever here some chemicals are there, allows a delivery of this such impulses from nervous to the other cells such as muscle cells or gland. Okay, this nerve cells will be present up to some extent. This information has to pass to the other muscle or any gland. There, that information will end. Okay, that will react. That will react. This is muscle. When the cells are present, again here muscle is also present. That muscle how it is receiving means this information is passing from one nerve cell to another nerve cell, that another nerve cell to another nerve cell, that finally one nerve cell will be present now, that will be in contact with the muscle or the glands. Okay, so it is thus no surprise that nervous tissue is made up of an organized network of nerve cells or neurons. Okay, it is made up of neurons. It is made up of. It is a huge network. How router is there? How are we getting here? Router is up in the first floor. Router is in the first floor. How am I getting Wi-Fi here? It is network. Network. Same like that when you just touch any hot object, your brain is receiving. How it is passing? It is traveling through nerve cells. They are informing to the glands. They are informing to the muscles. This information. Okay. Are you getting? It is a network. Okay. It is a network. One cell to another cell. Network of nerve cells or neurons. And this is specialized for conducting information via electrical impulses from one part of the body to another. It is specialized. How this information is passing? How this information is passing from one cell to another cell? Via electrical impulse. Okay, via electrical impulse. How this information is passing? Electrical impulses. They are releasing at the end of the axon chemicals. Again they are having the synapse and gap, again another cell. Okay. So, and specialized for conducting information via electrical impulse from one part of the body to the other. Look at the figure 6.1 you see. Okay, and identify the parts of the neuron where information is acquired, to which information travels as electrical impulse, and where this impulse must be converted into the chemical signal for onwards transmission. You are seeing axon in the first diagram. Here in the second diagram, axon is there. Axon end tips are inserting into the muscle fiber. Whatever this red part is there, that is red fiber. Okay, those are releasing the chemicals. Neuromuscular junction it is, which is connecting with the muscle. This end tips. Here only this information is passing end only. These are inserting into the muscle. This one muscle. It is releasing the electrical signals. Electrical signals. Okay. So put some sugar in your mouth. How does it taste? Block your nose by pressing it between your thumb and index finger. Now eat this sugar again. Is there any difference in taste? While eating lunch, block your nose in the same way and notice if you can fully appreciate the taste of the food you are eating. Is there any difference in how sugar and food taste in your nose is blocked? If so, why might this is happening? We didn't talk about a possible explanation for these kinds of differences. Did you come across a similar situation? When you have cold, will you taste the things which you before taste? No. When you have cold, that taste will differ. That the taste will differ, right? This is about the nerve cell. Are you clear with nerve cell? Huh? So learn about the nerve cell. Tomorrow you give the demo. Tomorrow in the sense after exam. Nerve cell. Whatever you know the points. Okay. Read the textbook first. Line to line you should read. If you want to get the 20 out of 20 in the MCQs, you should follow the textbook. Point is give your textbook. I will mark and give. For you, this one, where on Tuesday you should give. Small topic, sir. One paragraph. If you sit for 10 minutes, sir, it will over. Yes. How this electrical impulse is moving one part to the other part. That's it. You know already nerve cell in the 9th class only you studied this one. Huh? Where is that cell? You tell me. Now once you page number 103. Bye. CBSE is having more in-depth when compared to previous.
కానీ అటువంటి రెండు క్వశ్చన్స్ స్పెసిఫిక్ ఏమి ఇచ్చినా అవే
I will finish off this topic. Okay. Page number 103 is not there. You are having homework after that. That's good. Sit down. I will complete your text. Saying that only, if there is any extra points, I will discuss. Same that topic only. If there are any extra points, I will discuss this. What are you doing with the book? You are not? Why you are absent? You are at home. Don't be absent today. I told you many times. Every day we do many activities such as sharpening of pencil, grasping a doorknob, walking or running, driving, and few physical actions. We do not. This physical activities is there. Okay. We do many activities. We come to tuition, we go to school, we eat, we sit, we run, we walk, we talk. All these are physical activities. All these actions involve well-coordinated movements made with very balanced postures. In fact, whenever we use some basic functions such as movement, balance, and coordination work together in performing motions of body parts. Even standing upright is a challenge of balancing on just 2 feet in going for toilet, talking slowly when you are outside, and what do you do? Laughing for unnecessary things. That is also control. You should control, na? Cry. All this should have when you are in hot, when you touch any hot objects, you should take immediately. When you have very cold water, you cannot bathe. That time also you remove your hand. We cannot bathe that too much cold water. All this activity should be under control, right? So all our functions are carried out by an effort of several systems working together. For example, while movement, we hardly even use just the skeletal system or muscular system alone. Several other systems also have their own roles to play. Even within the muscular system, several muscles work in a systematic manner. To stand, just I am sitting now. If I want to stand, that should work only skeletal system, right? Not only skeletal system, other muscular systems also together work according to that. When I stand, when I sit, according to that it should function. How this all are coordinating? How this all are together working? So, what triggers the movement of the muscles? All our body parts, mainly the tissues and cells in them, which by picking up the signals of changes. These signals, whatever it is there, they are picking up signals of change. Those are calling it as a stimuli. What is meant by stimuli? Stimuli means picking up the signals. What is the signal? That is, we are in the classroom. We should talk slowly. We should not talk. This is hot object. We should not touch. Signals, whatever it is there, you are receiving, you are picking up, and you are knowing, right? So, this process triggers different functions in our body. For example, it is natural to move aside of the road when we hear or see a car approaching. What is the signal here? Stimuli when you are crossing road. Okay, if there is no car, you will cross it. If there is any car is approaching to you, then you will not. When car is approaching also, will you cross the road? No, you will not cross. Who is that? You are picking up the signal that car is approaching to you. You should not cross it. Then if you cross, you will get accident. That signal you are picking up, that we are calling it as stimuli. Stimuli. Okay. How do we respond slow, fast to the situation? Responding to this stimuli. What helps us to respond such signals of change? Why does the living body respond to such signals? Change in the surroundings are signals of changes or stimulus. The reason for response is by living organisms. All living organisms respond to stimuli. Like the cat will be running because it saw a mouse. Plants grow towards the sunlight. They start sweating when the surroundings are hot and humid. The ability to react a particular stimulus in a particular situation must be of a great importance in ensuring the survival sharp stick at least around a half meter. Imagine this is the half meter stick. Okay, keep your fingers in holding position like this. Okay, and ask your friend to hold the stick or scale near the end of the end and let it other end to be suspended between your fingers. There will be very small gap around a centimeter between your thumb and the stick. Scale or forefinger. Now let your friend allow it to fall. Try to hold it. Could you hold it exactly at the point where it was suspended between your fingers? Put a mark on the scale where you could hold it. How much above is it point of holding of the scale when you do that initiate marking? Why did this happen? How fast do you think the process was? Responses are brought about the rapid changes in some muscles, and such changes are usually related to the changing stimuli. Rapidity of response indicates an efficient communication system linking those parts of the pickup stimuli to those that are the trigger or response. Suppose there is a pen. This is imagine 1 centimeter is there. You are just holding it. Again it is moving. Again you want to keep it in the same position. Will you hold it on the same position which you were holding before? There will be little bit difference will be there in the position, right? Okay. How we are responding to the which is happening here. Okay. If you hold it, it will just move again. We need two members to here to do this experiment. Okay. This is the tip. Okay. Holding like this. You are just holding like this. When you leave this, again we will hold like this, same position. There will be some position changes in the pen, right? How we are came to know that we need to place at the same position? Before that signals went to our brain. It was used to be not this position, this position. Again we are able to keep the at the same position. First that signal has to go now. That first this is the place. Again when you leave that finger, again it will place here. Same. Means first it received the position of the pen. Everything is interlinked. Now, integrating pathways and nervous coordination. The Greek believed that all functions of the body were controlled by the brain. Who is controlling now? Brain. Who thought this one? Greek. Okay. Greek. Who believes that one? Greek. Whatever these functions are happening, it is under the control of the brain. Since damage to that organ produces remarkable changes in behavior. Okay, that is why it kept in the one skeleton. Brain is kept. If you damage this brain, our behavior will change. Our behavior will change. So they had very little idea on how much such control could be exercised. So Galen, a Greek physicist, made one notable observation. One of these patients having suffered a blow on the neck when falling from his chariot complained loss of feeling in the arm while still retained normal muscular control of its movement. So he observed that one patient actually suffered a blow. Okay, here on the neck. He actually felt from the chariot actually. Here some damage happened and he is not feeling any harm feeling. There is కొంతమంది చెప్తుంటారు నాకు ఎందుకో ఈ చెయ్యికి అసలు స్పర్శ తెలియట్లేదు, ఈ చెయ్యి ఏమైందో, ఈ చేతికైతే తెలుస్తుంది కానీ అమ్మ చదువుకోవాలి మాట్లాడుతుంది, ఈ చేతికి నాకు తెలుస్తుంది కానీ ఈ చేతికి తెలియట్లేదు అని అంటుంటారు. అవునా? కొంతమందికి ఏమైనా మనం ఏదైనా పడినప్పుడు బ్రెయిన్కి ఏదైనా డ్యామేజ్ అయిందంటే సంథింగ్, అప్పుడు మనకి ఏమవుతుందంటే ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అనేది ప్రాపర్గా వెళ్ళదన్నమాట. బ్రెయిన్కి అన్ని పార్ట్స్ నుంచి కూడా టచ్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, నర్వ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా ఎండ్ మనకి బ్రెయిన్ నుంచి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మొత్తం ఫంక్షన్స్ అన్ని బ్రెయినే చేస్తుంటుంది. కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఇక్కడ సమ్ పేషెంట్ ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేస్తారు, ఇక్కడ థైరాయిడ్ నుంచి పడినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ బ్యాక్ నెక్ దగ్గర సమ్ డ్యామేజ్ అయింది. దానివల్ల ఆయనకి ఏమవుతుంది, హ్యాండ్ అనేది ఆర్మ్ అనేది ప్రాపర్గా ఫీడింగ్ ఉండట్లేదు అనమాట. సో Galen concluded that nerves were of the two kinds, those of sensation and those of action. According to him, the blow in neck and had damaged the nerves of sensation, but had not affected its action. మామూలుగా తినడము ఏదైనా ఊడవడం ఇలా చేస్తుంది, కానీ సెన్సెస్ ఫీలింగ్ ఉండట్లేదు. అది హాట్ అంటే హాట్ అని చెప్పడం కానీ, కోల్డ్ ఉంటే కోల్డ్ అని చెప్పడం కానీ, ఈ ఫీలింగ్ ఉండట్లేదు, సెన్సేషన్. కాబట్టి ఇతను ఏమనుకున్నాడు, దేర్ ఈజ్ ఏ టూ నర్వ్స్. ఓకే, వన్ ఈజ్ సెన్సేషన్, అనదర్ వన్ ఈజ్ యాక్షన్. ఓకే, అనదర్ వన్ ఈజ్ యాక్షన్. అకార్డింగ్ టు హిమ్ ద బ్లో ఇన్ ద నెక్ డ్యామేజ్ ఇన్ ద నర్వస్ ఆఫ్ సెన్సేషన్. సో అతను ఏమనుకున్నాడు, అప్పుడు నర్వస్ సిస్టమ్ ఇక్కడ డ్యామేజ్ అయ్యేది, సెన్సేషన్ కి సంబంధించింది డ్యామేజ్ అయింది, బట్ నాట్ ద సెన్సేషన్. ఒకటి ఇంకొకటి ఏంటి, యాక్షన్ కి సంబంధించింది డ్యామేజ్ అవ్వలేదు అనేది కన్క్లూడ్ చేసుకున్నాడు ఎవరు, గ్యాలెన్. ఓకే, వై డు యు థింక్ గ్యాలెన్ డ్రీవ్ సచ్ ఎ కన్క్లూజన్? ఎందుకు అనుకుంటున్నారు అలాగా? ఎందుకంటే అతని ఆర్మ్ అనేది యాక్షన్ వైజ్ గా చేస్తుంది, బట్ ఫీలింగ్ వైజ్ గా, సెన్సేషన్ వైజ్ గా అనేది అది ఫీల్ అవ్వట్లేదు. ఓకే, సో ద ఫంక్షనింగ్ ఆఫ్ నర్వ్స్ యాజ్ ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ సిస్టమ్స్ వాజ్ little known till late 18th century. Then the physiologists began to study the mechanism of nerve functioning and found how signals were transmitted by making the connection between the recent work on electricity and proportions on working of the nervous system made present. Now you know more about the how nerves from different sections of the brain and the spinal cord control responses of different areas of the body. We also know the probable pathways that transmit information, but we still know very little about the working mechanisms of the nerve cells. All this, whatever are their brain cells, spinal cord control, everything will have the nerves. That nerves will inform to the brain. Okay, according see, if I want to stand, I am standing immediately. Okay, why? I just inform to my brain that stand, then brain is doing that function to the skeletal system. That skeletal system is following how brain is saying. If something is damaged in our brain, it will not do properly. It will not work properly. Each nerve cell consists of a cell body. We know that one. Each nerve cell will have a nerve body. We have drawn that nerve body. Okay, with a prominent nucleus. It will have a prominent nucleus. There are fine projections mainly of two types extending from the cell body of the nerve cell. The small projections are the dendrites, while the long one is that extends different parts of our body is called axon. These are dendrites, these are axon. Actually, this main body, cell body is having the two parts. Main is small ones, dendrites, and one long part that is axon. Okay, the small projections are dendrites, while long one is extended to different parts, that is axon. Axon is surrounded by the specialized insulatory sheath called myelin sheath. This is the myelin sheath. Okay, the sheath is interrupted at regular intervals called nodes or ganglia. This is a rod, okay, or ganglia. whatever this intersect is there na, between these two myelin sheaths, this is called Ranveer. The myelin sheath is made up of scaven cells and chiefly consist of fatty material. Okay, it will have the scaven cells and sheath-like consist of the fatty material. It will have the fatty material. Axons having sheath are called myelinated axon. Axon not having the sheath are non-myelinated axons. Okay, which are having the sheath are called myelinated axon. Which are not having this sheath are non-myelinated. Here printing mistake is there. Myelinated. Myelinated axon. Non-myelinated axons. If myelin sheath is there, myelinated sheath. If it is not there, then non-myelinated axons. Okay, the covering separates adjacent axons. The nerve cell body lies in the brain. Okay, where this lies the nerve cell in the brain, spinal cord, and the dorsal and the ventral root, ganglion of the spinal cord. In the brain or spinal cord, it is difficult to make out the difference between the dendrites and axon on the basis of their brain. Okay. In the brain or spinal cord, it is difficult actually to differentiate which is how we are able to know that when it is long, we are calling it as axon. When they are having very small dendrites. In the brain and the spinal cord, to differentiate this axon and dendrite, it is very difficult. The presence of sheath helps us to find out the difference. But most of the are non-myelinated cells only. How we are able to see? They have clearly given this how this electrical impulse is passing from one cell to another cell. Okay. This nerve end again it is touching to the other nerve cell of the dendrites. Okay. So it is very difficult in the spinal cord and the brain to detect, to differentiate which is dendrite and which is axon. If you have the myelin sheath, then we can say that that is axon because it will have the fatty cells. It will have fatty cells. Fatty material it will have. We know that the nerve cell is a structural and functional unit of nervous system. Our nervous system consists of more than 100 million of them. How many are there? More than 100 million. More than 100 million. Which communicate with each other as specific manner. Dendrites of one nerve cell connected to dendrites or axon of the other cell through connecting called synapses. I told you na, this gap, whatever it is there, connecting from one cell to the another cell of the dendrites will have the synapse. Okay. This type of cells will have the more than 100 million in our body. More than 100 million. Okay. Synapse is the functional region of contact between two nerves. It is a contact. Okay. How we are contacting with your friends? With phone number. Phone number is called synapse. Through that you are communicating. Na? Whatever you want to convey, if you make a call, you will convey that. You to your friends. But connectivity is there, like that the synapses will connect two nerve cells. Okay? So synapse is the function region of the contact between two nerves, where information from one nerve is transmitted or relayed to another neuron. So these are regions of need gaps and essentially neurons do not have any protoplasmic connection between them. That information is passed from one nerve cell to chemical or electrical signals or both. These synapses are mainly found usually in the brain, spinal, around the spinal cord. Beyond these areas, axon carries the signals from one brain to the spinal cord, respective part of the body. Okay, we have discussed this all things in previous one. Okay, pathways. So how these pathways are having actually from a stimulus to response. How this stimulus is responding in the holding. From the water is coming. In the holding stick activity, you observe that there is a coordination between eye and finger. Coordination is there, no? How you are without your eyes, can you hold this stick? I cannot hold. Right? This eye and stick is having coordination. Eye and stick. If you open your eyes, then only you can hold the stick properly. When it is falling, how can I cannot hold it. Right? So, eye and fingers. This eye is looking here to the pen. That is why my fingers are holding here, right? In this activity. So, different pathways are taken by the nerves to bring out this coordinated act. On the basis of pathways followed, nerves are classified into three types. They are nerves are classified into mainly into how many types? Three types. Afferent nerves, sensory nerves. Afferent nerves are motor nerves. Association nerves. There are three types of nerves. See, what are afferent nerves or sensory nerves? The nerves which carry messages towards the central nervous system. Central nervous system is spinal cord or brain. Okay. Okay. The nerves which carry messages towards the central nervous system. Who is central nervous system? Brain and spinal cord. Okay. The nerve endings on the muscles of the different sense organs. They are afferent or sensory neuron. Okay. What are sensory nerves? Those are giving information to the brain. Okay. What are motor nerves? The nerves which carry messages from the central nervous system to the body parts. From the central nervous system to the body parts are motor nerves. Okay. In the first case, nerves which are carrying messages towards the body parts will give the sensory. Sensory nerves means this nose, this ears, this hands will give information to the brain or spinal cord, which gives the information to the body parts, that is motor nerves. Next, association nerves. These nerves link together the afferent and efferent. Which organism of your body was the detector and effector in activity 1? How do you think are the information detector? 5 రాస్తారా? చూసుకొని ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి. ఇది నర్వ్స్ ఎలా 3 టైప్స్ ఉంది. మండే రాస్తారా? 3 డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్. టాపిక్స్ 9 ఉన్నాయి. ఈ 4 అంటే ఏంటి? ఇవన్నీ డెఫినేషన్స్ చెప్పాను కదా. 4 అంటే ఏంటి? ఫోకల్ లెంత్ అంటే ఏంటి? ప్రిన్సిపల్ యాక్సెస్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఇవన్నీ చెప్పాను కదా డెఫినేషన్స్. చిన్న చిన్న డెఫినేషన్స్ తెలుసుకుంటే మీకు ఇంకా ముందు టాపిక్స్ అర్థమవుతుంది. మీకు ఏమైనా గైడ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేశారు? గైడ్ ఏంటి? టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ఏంటి? అయ్యా అయ్యా రానవి యా రా లా వా వా వాకు దీర్ఘం ఇస్తే వా అయ్యారు
Mm.